Good morning, everyone. It's 30th January 2017, and welcome to another episode of ProAMT Traders Digest. Let me go through the disclaimer first. Trading in stocks derivatives involves substantial risk of loss and not suitable for all investors. Past or simulated performance is not a guarantee of future results. All systems, indicators, strategies shown here are for education purpose only. All levels discussed here are for understanding the study and not a recommendation to trade. Please consult your personal financial advisor before making any investment or trade decision based on anything that is discussed here. We will not be responsible for any resulting profits or losses. So we have finished almost. This was the expiry week, and one day short of Thursday. The expiry went on Wednesday, and then due to Thursday being a holiday, Friday directly opened with a huge gap. So one was the premium and the gap. Would not consider that as a gap because it's still a premium, and would not mark it as a clean gap on the chart, but still it stays as a gap. And when the price visits the lows, we'll still see what happens into these lows at 8641. The reason it's important is that on this entire composite, this composite is of this entire data whenever the price has traded in this range, and that HVN is coming at 8642. So we'll see what happens there. Now overall, what has happened here is this range which we were following, this volume profile from this gap down. I've closed that profile because we have left that range with a gap. So this premium gap or whatever we call it as, but we have left that, and that's why this profile we have to close as per the range rules. The point of control, the VPOC of that profile still stays at 8190. A very important point in this up move because it's almost the center point of the lower balance. A lot of volume has traded there, and also on the composite, 8188, 8187 is a huge HVN. So the fight is between 8641 and 8187 as of now. And in this down move, if we see, the highest traded price is at this level, 87. So if we just see this profile and this entire range, then this volume is an exact match, 8759, almost a total quantity match traded on those prices. Here what has happened is there was a minor balance in November, and we saw that it traded through that, and then finally now it is trading into this supply zone. This huge balance, there is a volume based VH of this balance coming at 87 around 8705. 8710 is 8700 is the VAL of the entire upper balance, the volume based VAL. So confluence of supply zones here, and then there is a minor micro composite there in that range from where it had started falling. So very important supply coming up into the next 50 points, 50 60 points from the high of Friday. A very important zone to watch for a long term uptrend to shape up. Now this long term would be like continuing for months and not weeks. So what might happen is, if it passes above that, if it accepts into this supply zone, what will happen is then this lower balance is forgotten for few months to come. It might for sure come down. It's not that it might not come down. A correction would be healthy. So then what would happen is, it would, if it corrects towards 8,300 or 200 kind of zone, it will get bought into, because that will become a major demand zone, and then make its way higher towards 9,000 again. So a very important confluence. Budget is coming up ahead, so a very important event as well on the economic front, and the FIIs would like to take a decision, I think, post the budget. So somewhere, either they should create positions on 31st, that is Tuesday, or they would like to create it after first, because they generally wait. But what they can do is, they are like going net long, they're huge net long, and they might flip as well on the budget day, but decide later on whether to create shorts or completely book out or not on the second and third day, like post the budget. So that is what is happening on a longer term. Now on the intermediate term, we have a trending price. The value is not catching up with the price. The value still stays into this zone. So 8445, very key level in short term, short and intermediate term. Extreme short term, we'll look at this, because this is a 2 sigma volume and 2 sigma range coming that day. And the low of that bar, where the 2 sigma volume happened on 30 minutes, is 8578. So that would be a very important level in the short term. Now I saw so we were discussing about weekly and yearly VWAP on Slack. So what I wanted to say is, while we are doing this, because we are covering the week gone by and what has happened in the past, and the reference, the entire context of the past auction, we can discuss that VWAP here instead of doing a separate webinar for that. So what happens is, VWAP basically is the volume weighted average price. So the volume traded at each price is aggregated. Now if you see the VWAP going flat, now when the VWAP goes flatter, I would think that it would not act as an immediate bull bear zone, because there would be a balance happening around that. And when it leaves that balance, because we have that liberty to use the balance zones, I would give more importance to this balance, because the VWAP is going flat there. But that doesn't mean that I will be selling up below the VWAP or buying above the VWAP, because here what has happened is the VWAP is still below the VWAP of the previous month. Now when the VWAP starts trading down, I want to still see what happens when it starts trending down. Now the price went far away from the VWAP. If you can see, this 2 standard deviations have gone way apart from the VWAP. So when it comes back to the VWAP, I want to still see, because the month is ending. Now in the end of the month, it traded above the VWAP and this portion where it had gone flat. So now anything above this balance is going into a buy zone. And that's why, if anyone remembers, I'd pulled down the long-term reference to 8195, and that was combined with this and the VPOC ProAMT SAR system going long. So it's a combination. So it's not about, in hindsight, everything looks good, but it's about realizing and internalizing the information which the market is generating. Somebody said that because VWAP is market generated information, so should be a good tool to use. Obviously it's a good tool, but again we have to add the context and objectivity to it. This is normally what I see. Uh, can be various other ways also to trade the VWAP, but I would not buy above or sell below just the VWAP. I would take multiple confirmations because that is giving a long term trend picture, being a monthly VWAP. Then also the yearly VWAP, the same thing. This is the yearly VWAP right now. It is at 8020. So see, the yearly VWAP was rising and has gone flat. So in this fall, it came to meet that yearly VWAP, and now it has gone flat completely. So I would want this to rise in the next month. If February first week this is not catching up and not rising, see here, the month yearly VWAP is rising because the new year has started. What I want is in February it should rise. If it doesn't rise in February, then I would think that there is the market participants are losing their interest in higher prices. And if a lot of volume is being generated now, it doesn't matter whether it generates in this zone or higher, but till the volume is generated above the VWAP, it will pull the VWAP higher, the yearly VWAP higher. As of now, the yearly and monthly are together because it's the first month. But from February, I want that the January VWAP catches up with the price. If it's not able to catch up, I would look for a balance when it comes down to meet that VWAP. And below that balance, it will be a long-term trend change again. Cool. So let's move on to Bank Nifty. Now, Bank Nifty, similar. We have this balance. I'm not drawing another balance here because still there is this balance has been followed, and it has Bank Nifty has reached again a similar supply, but there is not much of value here. If you see, there is a minor balance micro composite here. I've not marked that because we'll get a new balance maybe forming within this above the VH of 19650 and below the VL of 19880. So if we get something here, new information, we'll mark that balance. Else, any acceptance above 19880 would make it go higher into the VH 19965 and then 2040. Above 2040 again we'll expect 20150, and that is the main. So similar to 8759, this is the zone. So a 200 point range higher would decide if it wants to stay higher for a few months to come or not. Now Bank Nifty has gained a lot of range and volume in the previous few weeks. If you see, many bars hitting the 2 sigma and above the 2 sigma, and a lot of the Bank Nifty is like getting liquid day by day due to the weekly options. People have started to take more interest in Bank Nifty futures, and participation has increased a bit. Now the VWAP scenario is the same. This monthly is rising. Till it's rising, it's good, and this becomes an important reference for the coming month. And also the RBI bi-monthly policy slated to be released, I think February 7th or 8th. Now while we are here, let's have a look at the weekly projected range. So the Nifty futures weekly projected high is 8780 and projected low is 8561. Whichever. Now this might, I'm not sure whether it will be that effective this week or not, because of that huge gap coming up. But anyways, system is a system. There would be gaps in these other candles as well, and they are incorporated. So I would not like think once I'm following something, I would not doubt it, and I would not try to curve fit it just due to any sort of bias. Now on the Bank Nifty futures, we have a projected high of 2141 and a projected low of 19445. Similar story, and has a weekly median range of 700 points. That's a huge range. And if we can take it like if we can get the range in the weekly options, would be like uh, even if we get like every time we can make a policy to get 100 points off it, it's like 4 weeks and 400 points. Before going into the daily profile and stuff, I would want to go through the sectors. So this week, PSU Bank and Finance, major gainers above 6%. CNX Metal leading with 5.87 from this. These all are percentages from the open. Bank Nifty gaining 5% from the open. Nifty gaining 3.75% from the open. All the sectors trading positive on weekly open to close basis, and all the sectors also trading positive at like 1%, which is a good sign. Now need to see if these sectors want to rotate and if the IT and pharma and FMCG want to pick up or not. On the Nifty 50 stocks, HDFC major gainer with 10+% gain. Bharti Airtel was a loser, but a smart recovery from a -5% to a +2%, which is a recovery of like 7% intra week. And most of the Nifty 50 stocks trading positive on a weekly close from the open, apart from Infi, Wipro, and Asian Paint is just at the edge at 0. So overall, like 99% stocks trading higher, 96% stocks. Now let's get into the daily profile. So overall, P-shaped profile on the daily, but a balance. So this might complete if any push above and failure would complete this auction and make it a balance. The price stayed, the acceptance stayed in the lower range of the P, and the close was also at the prominent POC. The POC is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 brackets wide of a prominent POC. There is a gap below due to the premium, expecting the gap to close in the coming days. And if it doesn't close, a very bullish side, but I'm expecting it to close and visit this HVN. A very emotional profile here, but elongated, and a lot of volume generated, so strength goes into that as well. Now on the 1 minute, trending channeled move upwards, and then finally it starts trading sideways for a while, and then finally all of a sudden gives a down move, impulsive down move, and then creates a balance lower, and after creating a balance lower, checks the upper balance midpoint, which is the fairest price of the upper balance. So if you can see here, this was the fairest price of the upper balance that is tested in this balance, and then makes its move down, and again a balance forming here just below the VWAP, and a close just below the VWAP. So this entire, like, I would consider from here the fairest price there to the fairest price here as a very important zone, and see what happens in this zone today. Now going to coming to the delta front, a lot of profit booking seen at the highs, and the delta was green when it started, but then resulted into profit booking. you have a spike down here, and finally no supply into this zone. So that's the opening swing high that was, and that's an important reference again. Now let's clear this up and go to the 15-minute. So as usual, you can see a lot of buyers getting stuck here with the sellers coming in at the highs. The point of control, the volume, lot of volume created there, and finally those sellers taking command, getting into the day mid. And if you can see the supply getting absorbed, a huge supply comes in. The lows are lower than this supply bar, but getting absorbed. The delta is getting absorbed. It shows buying interest. So the selling was absorbed here. When it goes higher again, you can see the buyers are getting exhausted and can see supply overpowering the demand here in this zone. So though the bar is a hammer, that means the prices could pull up, but the delta pushed down. Finally, you can see a bit of a delta push, and again the sellers getting stuck at the lows and finally covering at the end of the day. So a normal behavior on 15 minutes with a double distribution kind of auction going into 150% range extension from the previous day range. Let's have a look at the Renko. Now here we have an impulse, tried to push down, the opening swing low is created, breaks the opening swing high, pushes up in an impulse, pulls back down, again an impulse, failure here, but does not break this pullback. A zipper impulse gets choppy. Now when this gets choppy, I'm always reluctant. If I sell here with the stop loss of this, now this stop loss would have hit. So this is the point I want to look. If there is no volume push, till then I don't want to sell. So the first volume push comes here. Then I know that okay, there is a volume push coming, needs to break this bar, and this gets into this at least one zipper below. Now it's not getting there, goes up, the demand drops down, and that is when I decide that okay, when it breaks this zipper is the point to sell. So your point of selling just got higher due to this double confirmation. Now goes to the day mid, game is over for me because that's more than what I could have expected. Again a pullback, would like to see where this pullback ends. This pullback ends even below this zipper. Want to see whether any volume came in. No, the supply is overpowering because there's no demand coming in the highs. Again a sell for me, but now the reward is much lesser. Now till I am getting 16 points, I don't mind to again sell. Gets into the day mid with a zipper, sign of strength, want to buy above this break. So this first zipper, I want to buy above that break. Again, not much for my 16 points only. When it comes back here, my stop loss is here, which gets into here, and finally I'm out somewhere into this zone. Again, going into the above zipper, there is no strength left for me to sell into these highs, because testing highs again does not give me enough confirmation. Now my confirmation comes below this. Now when it goes below this, again I sell, but again for the day mid. So these type of rotational days are good for trading intraday. Though I am not trading intraday till 1st Feb obviously, but this was a good day as per my trading style. Now let's see what we can expect for today. So let's draw. Now expecting open somewhere into this range, maybe 8660. Suppose if it opens anywhere into this, into 8650 or below that, I am expecting a push down into to check what lies at the 50% of this premium adjustment. If it fails, make its way into the previous day range fail and make its move into the 8615 zone, try to push back up, fail, and test the high volume node of this. So create, this is like for creating further strength for volatility on the budget day. This is one scenario, not the first scenario, because the trend is up. So I would always keep the first scenario as it comes back into this, fails, makes its move higher into this 8670, pulls back down into 866560 zone and makes its way higher and pushes through the high into the 8710 supply zone. If it fails there, then come back into the range, rotate and settle there. Otherwise, carry its move up into the 875060 zone. So that would be the first expectation, just because the trend is up. But on the other hand, the volume had dropped from earlier 3, 4, 5 days volume. The range had dropped and closed in the middle after a long time. Sign of weakness not confirmed yet. Now let's have a look at the Bank Nifty daily profile. So Bank Nifty, a better short covering than Nifty, because elongated, tried to pull back in the second period itself. Again, third period comes to the open of the B period, fails, goes higher, creates a short covering, tries to push up, met with supply, pulls back down. The pullback low is not getting any interest. If you can see, stopping volume kind of formation happening, because the second bar is way higher and then pushes into the higher levels. Now the close is very much strong, and we would expect this 19610 to hold for further up move, or else would come to test into this gap and might come to even test the 19400 zone. On the 1 minute chart, let's see what it has done. A channel move higher. So oops. So a channel move higher in the morning, or you can draw this wedge. The wedge breaks down, but again you got a minor channel. So these are all small important nuances. Now you get a break from this balance which was forming, and then it makes its way higher. Now again a balance forming, again a break from the balance, again a balance forming, break down from that balance, and again another balance. So these micro balances give us an idea what was happening during the day. On a broader scale, we would consider like this as one move, this entire zone as one move. Then I would consider this taking resistance of this, and then would consider this as a separate move. So that is how it would look on when you change the time frame. You can visualize this in the back of your mind, what would be happening on just one time frame higher, because this is 1 minute chart, but we are trading 3 minutes based on 3 minutes, because these volume candles are 3 minutes. So thrust failure and no supply at the VWAP when it was developing during the day. This opening swing low again is important, because the swing low pushes higher, and even that high is not taken out in this fall. So it is getting support there. Now let's see what's there on the 15 minute. This showed some signs that the buyers were getting trapped because the delta was dropping there, and we see a lot of negative prints there. But finally, once it comes down, this huge supply is completely absorbed when it comes to the day mid. A push higher, but getting a lot of selling. So all this zone has received a huge supply. 19790, a very important zone for today's trade. And then I would consider this congestion zone. So if any failure below 650 would be a test of from this test of this huge bar at 435 450 kind of zone. Now let's have a look at the Renko. Cool. So the Renko is all a lot of action happening there. So I would when this is happening, a lot of zippers happening here. For me, the clean moves are impulse, goes sideways, impulse falls back into the day mid. Again, a buying opportunity, impulse, sideways consolidation, impulse. This would be considered a single impulse. So I would consider a similar rise in a symmetrical way, which didn't come. But again, here I would consider again a symmetrical rise, which again didn't come. So when this is happening, what we want to do is look at what is happening at a better. So what I do is I add and increase this Renko size to get cleaner moves. So this impulse, when this is not materializing, I am expecting another impulse, sideways move, impulse. So you get a better understanding what is happening into this. See, these impulses got clear. One impulse, pull back 50%. Also the day mid, impulse, pull back 50%. Impulse goes sideways, means you know that you need an exit from this. Comes back down into the day mid, your long impulse, sideways, impulse. This is more than enough to day trade. Now a symmetric move down, impulse, pullback, impulse. Now this is the fairest price. Where does it go? This HVN becomes a reference. So a very clean move at a higher Renko size, because there was a lot of action. Like when it's going back and forth, you will get a lot of candles on the if I put it to 60, you will be getting like too many candles. So this helps while you are day trading to grab more points and not exit in a hurry. Now this would request everyone to watch this carefully, because this is like getting into, I think this would go like an for about an hour, and I'm discussing all the points. We've better to do this on this rather than doing just a separate webinar for all these points, because the webinars are organized and this information can come randomly. It's not necessary that a day type would happen at a certain point of time, or something important happens only on a particular day. So here we can discuss like everything compiled together. Now what I'm expecting for today is open somewhere into the day mid, try to push higher into 790 zone, pull back into this zone and make its way higher and break the highs into the 19900 zone. Fail there, come here, settle into the HVN. That is one. Might, if it pushes through the high and accepts, then make its way higher into the 2150 zone. If it fails here, then push back down again here, pull back up, make its way down to the lows of this day to close, test this HVN which created this move. Any failure here would go and close this gap into the HVN lower of the previous expiry. So that is what you can expect. Now, suppose if it opens here, you consider this and a move into this and this. Suppose if it opens here, we consider this pushback, go up, fail, or push back up, come back and push back higher. So depending, now you all know the exercise, how I visualize this stuff based on the open. So I think that's about it. And would want to see what happens today, and depending on that, we'll shape up the scenario for tomorrow and the budget day again. But the broader context is first the weekly projected levels, and then these levels which we discussed on the micro composite. So catch you all during the day, and happy trading. Wish you a profitable day ahead, and thanks for watching.